I'm Matt McClure.
And I'm Francesca Maxime, and this is Currents.
After a stormy session in Albany, a local politician comes home.
I'm very proud today to have over 500 people that live in my district here supporting me.
Finding healing, but not necessarily from a doctor.
The cause of your hurt is the fact that you're carrying this anger.
And the Net honors its founding father. Good evening. One of the most explosive pieces of legislation in Albany this year was the so-called Markey bill, sponsored by Queens Assemblywoman Margaret Markey. It would have lifted the statute of limitations for sexual abuse claims in New York for 1 year and could have had devastating consequences for the Diocese of Brooklyn.
A major opponent of the bill was Brooklyn Assemblyman Vito Lopez, who faced criticism for his stand and was even accused of making a backdoor deal with Bishop DiMarzio to offer a competing bill, something both parties deny. Wednesday night, Lopez's supporters gathered in Williamsburg, both to welcome him back after a busy season in Albany and also to offer their support.
Yo, that hat's too small for you. That hat's too small for you.
I've been knowing that man for over 35 years. I support him wholeheartedly. He helps our community. He does the right thing. You want to spread lies? It's about the wrong man. You don't spread lies on him.
Most of these people here don't know why they're here for. They know that they get some kind of service from Vito Lopez, and that's that. I'm actually a constituent. I live around the corner, my family does, and he's not speaking for his constituents.
I'm a woman that was born and raised in this community and works in this community. I know the hard work that Vito Lopez has put in to this community. I know Vito since I was 17 years old. This community was nothing like what it is now.
It's, it's unright how he's being torn down by these people here who are demonstrating today. And it's important to show our support for the leader who was shown throughout the years real leadership and has helped everybody in the community.
He is the only politician, the only legislator that has ever done anything for this community. He's brought affordable housing. He's brought programs for the elderly. He's brought programs for the youth. He's brought drug rehab programs, domestic violence programs. He's brought affordable housing. What more do you want? What more can you ask for? What do you want from your leader? What do you want from your representative? Everything that I have just mentioned, and that's what he's delivered for us.
I think it's an emotional issue. You could see that it's a charged crowd. Obviously, when we come to a situation where people are shouting at each other it's not the best of situations, but at times, we need to get the word out that what's being presented is not always necessarily the most accurate when it comes to its criticism of the bishop and of the church, of Vito Lopez. I mean, we know what we've been working for, and I think the other side is misrepresenting what we're trying to accomplish.
Well, I'm very proud today to have over 500 people that live in my district here supporting me. Brooklyn did very well. We brought a lot of resources back. The Assembly passed a lot of solid, comprehensive pieces of legislation. Markey's bill this year did not pass. I'm hoping we could renegotiate and come up with a compromise. I understand there are people on both sides. The problem is we don't know what the outcome is until those bills are passed in the Senate. The chances, because of what the status of the Senate and the fact that this bill is not even active in the Senate, makes it impossible for something to happen this year.
Justice for all! Justice for all!
Well, we're going to be working hard on affordable housing, which is a top issue of mine, and we're going to try to come up with a compromise so we can address this issue.
And I contacted Assemblywoman Markey's office, and she gave us the following statement. Society pays a huge cost, estimated at more than $104 billion a year, to deal with the physical and emotional costs of child abuse. Not only will the Child Victims Act bring justice to those who have been abused, it will also create new protection for future generations of children at risk by identifying pedophiles who have been deliberately hidden from exposure after they have evaded the present inadequate statute of limitations laws.
Stay with us. We have more currents just ahead, including the day's headlines.
And recognition of excellence from the Brooklyn Diocese.
These great people who are here giving of their time, most especially of their resources, are helping the neediest get the aid they need.
Welcome back to Currents. I'm Matt McClure.
And I'm Francesca Maxime. Our cameras were rolling as we formally dedicated this very studio. That's coming up later on in the show. But first, the day's headlines. Bishops from around the world want G8 leaders to make a, quote, concerted effort to help the world's poor. Leaders of the group of 8 industrialized nations are meeting in Italy early next month. The bishops say the economic situation should not take away aid to less developed countries. Pope Benedict and President Obama will meet following the G8 summit.
Closer to home, Catholic Charities of Brooklyn and Queens held its annual Bishops Humanitarian Awards Dinner on Wednesday night to honor individuals who've contributed to the organization's causes. Hosted at Pier 60 in Manhattan, the event was emceed by WABC TV news anchor Ken Rosado.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Kimmelman Bar Mitzvah.
With Tony and Emmy award-winning singer and actor Leslie Uggams performing the national anthem.
This dinner is important because it really provides us with the funds to be able to do what we do.
For over 100 years, Catholic Charities Brooklyn and Queens has been providing services to underserved communities through affordable housing and health services. And it's all thanks to the generous support of individuals like the ones honored last night. This dinner was a way to give thanks while at the same time raising funds for Catholic Charities programs.
This dinner provides a tremendous enhancement to the quality of our programs. And at this crucial time when the economics of our society are so difficult, we have more and more people coming to us.
We have growing numbers of families who are unemployed, losing their homes, and they have oftentimes no place to turn, but Charities has always been there. And these great people who are here giving of their time, most especially of their resources, are helping the neediest get the aid they need.
This year there were 4 honorees, ranging from a medical doctor, a real estate developer, a financial news reporter, and an entire family that owns a pizza chain.
Well, we're very humbled. We're very grateful. To be honest with you, we're surprised that we would receive a humanitarian award when we ourselves, in fact, have really received a lot of humanitarian help.
This is a family who came here and they started Familia Pizza, but they came here with absolutely nothing, were supported in their beginnings by Catholic Charities, and this is their opportunity, I think, to give back.
I'm holding a promissory note for $280, which, believe it or not, back in 1970, April 1970, bought 5 tickets on Alitalia to come to JFK Airport. The terms are 12 months, 12 monthly installments of approximately $23 without interest. And so we pay that loan back 37 years later with some interest.
Also honored was Jack Klein of Silverstein Properties, Dr. Joseph McGinn Jr., Medical Director at the Heart Institute, and Larry Kudlow, host of CNBC's The Kudlow Report.
Christ has changed my life. Christ has changed my life in ways that I never dreamed possible. And that is why I always try to do service when I can.
All very worthy honorees. There is more information about last night's award ceremony on our blog. You can head over to netny.net/currents and just click on Riding the Wave. From China now, the retired Archbishop of Hong Kong says the Vatican should not compromise with the Chinese government. Cardinal Joseph Zen tells Asian News that both the Vatican and Chinese Catholics need to follow Pope Benedict's instruction to stand up for religious freedom.
Sad news today. Former television star Farrah Fawcett reportedly receiving the Catholic sacrament of the anointing of the sick before dying of cancer at the age of 62. Her funeral service being planned for Our Lady of Angels Cathedral in Los Angeles.
And stay tuned, there's much more currents ahead. A special day here at the Net honoring the station's founder.
And a studio grows in Brooklyn. A celebration at the Net. You know, in the news today, you hear a lot about reforming health care. But some Catholics are finding that the best prescription just might be something as old as the church itself, the Mass.
That's right. More and more people are taking part in so-called healing masses. And to find out more, I sat down yesterday to talk with somebody who celebrates these masses on a regular basis, Father James Fraser from Holy Trinity Parish in Whitestone. And we're talking about something very unique today that's a bit newer to the Catholic Church and something that is actually happening over the weekend here in Brooklyn. So we thought we'd give you a little bit of an introduction to it. Sure. Thank you so much, Father, for being here. We're talking about healing masses.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what a healing mass is. What does it mean? What do they do?
Okay. Well, a healing mass basically is in the context of a regular mass with which most of us would be familiar. One difference would probably be the fact that we lay hands on people at the end of Mass. The gift of touch is a very solemn, sacred action. We have people behind the person. Very often the person will just be overcome with a feeling of God's love and will fall backwards.
Sure.
I try to tell
them,
them,
like a trust fall.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they'll be on the floor of the sanctuary for right away, maybe they'll get up right away, or maybe 5 minutes, whatever. But we also, the priest who is praying over them, this is just my own particular style, many people who come to this are members of the Catholic Charismatic Renewal.
Okay.
They go through a census, a series rather, of about 6 weeks, a seminar it's called. And at the end of it, they are brought forth with the gift, God gives it to them, of speaking in tongues. Now, it's not a flamboyant gift. It's something, for example, that you can do silently or quietly. And that's what I do when I lay hands. I'm just simply, I'm not saying any prayers at all. I'm just as such. But what I believe is happening is that God is speaking through me in the sense of touch.
And isn't that really the biggest piece of it, is that the priest serves as the conduit of Jesus in this case in a way that is aimed at trying to heal the person that is seeking some type of healing?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And very often when people come up to be prayed over at the end of Mass, they will come up with either their own need. Father, my husband is going in for surgery this week. Would you please pray for him, and so on. Or they'll come up with a picture, maybe of one of their grandchildren, her grandchildren, who might be undergoing some particular...
Sure, ill in some way or something, and they ask you to help out with that.
Yes.
A couple of questions. I mean, why do you think people perhaps may have a hard time with this concept as opposed to a traditional Catholic Mass? Although it is a regular Mass, I know that has an augmented piece to it, if you will. And what got you interested in it in the first place?
Basically because I recognize that the use of prayer here was giving a greater, if you will, attention to the Eucharist, which we believe is the body and blood of Christ. And most people that come to these celebrations are coming for a specific reason. They're hurting, and they are in need. The need can be physical, it can be emotional, can be mental, can be spiritual, either from themselves or members of their family. The reason why they come is because, or may not come, is because of the fact that to a certain extent, if you will, everybody in church on a Wednesday night who is not obliged to be there is there for a reason.
Sure.
And in a sense, they're telling other people, I need healing.
So are these masses that you'll have on a regular basis, or is this something that you do occasionally? And if so, are those parishioners that are coming on Wednesday to perhaps these healing masses, are they also in the pews on a Sunday? Or?
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, sure. There's no conflict or whatever. But it can, the fact of somebody, let's say, falling back in the spirit when hands are laid on upon them, can be, if you will, a little bit upset. And they're frightened because they think that they're going to lose consciousness. Doesn't happen.
Sure. Tell me then what does happen. What has been maybe your most notable or memorable experience that you've laid hands or spoken in tongues with someone? What has really stood out as something with someone?
Well, let's say, for example, a wife may come up to me, and she just in about, usually I say, is there any particular need that you have? She'll say, yes. My husband and I are on the skids, and we haven't talked in X number of days or months, and would you pray over him? Pray for him. He may be sitting in the back of church. I said, yes, I'll be glad to.
Yeah.
So I may just pause where I am, because usually there are other people assisting me,
sure,
members of the prayer group. I'll go back and say, are you open to receive just the healing touch of Jesus?
Okay.
Something may happen or nothing may happen, but I believe that Jesus is offering you a light.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice. So, and I was also reading a little bit, doing some research on this, that sometimes, it's not so much that prayers aren't answered, but it's that part of what perhaps God wants to give you, or Jesus feels like you need to be given, is perhaps acceptance over a certain given situation?
Yes. And what I often say as a premise to the Mass itself is that, remember, you may have come with a particular need and just say, I need to have surgery on my right elbow.
Sure.
And the Lord may answer your prayer by allowing you to be at peace with that, or may say that your real hurt, the cause of your hurt is the fact that you're carrying this anger, say, towards your husband.
Sure.
Or vice versa.
Right.
So, in other words, what you are asking for from the Lord is an obvious reason to say, yes, this is what I'm here for, but just be open to the fact that you may leave here with another healing, different healing.
And we have about a minute left. What would you say to anybody who is very skeptical about this, who says this isn't what the Catholic religion is about, this isn't what we do?
Well, I would say that there are always going to be skeptics. I just would ask them to be open. Just come and explain, family, friend, member who go to these Masses, let them explain, as we have talked here, and find out if it's to your taste. Some people it isn't.
Right.
Okay? And yes, the fear continues. But my experience has been that when people are open and so on, they leave church happy and
sure,
some kind of healing.
Try it before you buy it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
All right. Thank you so much. That's Father James Fraser on Healing Masses. And again, there is a Healing Mass in Brooklyn this weekend, not to be led by Father Fraser. However, another one that you can check out if you want to learn a little bit more about Healing Masses and attend one. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, definitely a very interesting conversation there. And that next Healing Mass in the Brooklyn Diocese is taking place on Friday, June 26th, 8 o'clock in the evening at St. Columba Parish in Marine Park.
Right, that's just tomorrow. Coming up tomorrow as well, we'll also have another look at Healing and Faith with a profile of hospital chaplains. And be sure to also check that out. Well, stay with us. There's more Current straight ahead.
Well, finally tonight, we turn the camera on ourselves. It can be kind of scary. Well, earlier in the day, we had the official dedication of what will now be known as the Monsignor Dempsey Studio right here in Brooklyn.
That's right. And it was, in fact, a festive and joyful gathering for all of us who are now a part of NET. It included the dedication of the building's chapel and a salute to our channel's founder, Monsignor Dempsey, who created the prayer channel, which you now know as the NET. Take a look.
You get asked to do something a year and a half ago by someone who really, for 40 years, sustained a ministry that most people didn't believe in and so forth. And then when you get asked to do it, you realize the amount the man did, the stuff that you thought, this is easy, that's easy, all of a sudden you do it. And it made me just grow in my appreciation of Monsignor and what he gave us and the trust that he passed on to me and to the team. And like I said in the talk, he asked us to be innovators. He said, take risks, and I think we have.
Because our diocese, since Bishop Damasio has arrived, has become preoccupied with evangelization. It's become a big thing for us, So You know, we've had classes on it, we have meetings on it. You know, we're always very much involved in that, you know, with the evangelization thing. And this plays a big part in it, big part in evangelization. So that's why it's important to us as a diocese to reach out to other people.
We're not alone.
Really?
Here, and they come from every continent.
Hi, Don.
I think the first thing that's really spectacular is that it's an honor to Monsignor Dempsey. You know, he's a real pioneer in television media, and Catholic television media in particular. And I think it's a great tribute to him, this beautiful building that's really going to advance the work of evangelization in the Diocese of Brooklyn, but beyond the Diocese of Brooklyn as well.
The job now is to translate the work of the church into the language of media, you see, because it can't stay just preaching, it can't stay just writing, it has to become data, it has to become media, it has to become interactive, and this is a way the church has of doing that. So I think this is a great step forward.
Good, well.
Oh, I thought it was great. Oh, I got a big kick out of it. I enjoyed it very much. I enjoyed it very much. It was very nice. The building is beautiful. The people are very, very nice. You know, I mean, like, so I enjoyed this whole day today. It was nice. Listen to people.
It was a great day here at NET, and I'll tell you what, one thing that really caught my attention that Monsignor Dempsey said was the fact that it's really got to be interactive.
Sure.
Media has changed so much over the years since the Prayer Channel was founded, and now I think we're becoming more and more interactive. He said, you know, it's got to be data.
Right.
We've got to be able to communicate back and forth. It's a two-way street.
Right. Smart man, visionary man. Obviously, one of the things that, you know, he's trying to communicate is what is the new evangelization? What are the ways to go and reach the rest of the sheep that may have, you know, sort of wandered off outside of the pastoral area, you know? And really, part of the ways that he demonstrated that today was his anecdote about somebody who saw one of the shows after 15 years, and or perhaps it was Chris Quinn, our general manager, I don't remember, but the point being is that came back into the fold and started to, you know, practice again and believe again and have more hope and faith. And really, that's one of the things that we're here to do.
That's absolutely right. And, you know, it was just a great day with the bishop being here as well. Of course, Bishop DiMarzio, we must say, was originally scheduled to be here and do that, but we are wishing him well and praying for him as he is recovering from his surgery. So.
Absolutely, and the food was great too.
I know, it doesn't hurt.
Thanks, General Manager Chris Quinn and all the friends and family that came out too. Seriously, they did. All right, that is it for this edition of Currents. Coming up tomorrow, you will meet three remarkable men, the seminarians who will be ordained priests this Saturday in Brooklyn. We have much more and that tomorrow.
And remember, you can always watch us online. We are at netny.net on the World Wide Web. And you can follow us also at Twitter, twitter.com/currentsny. Till next time, I'm Matt McClure.
And I'm Francesca Maxime. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.